Powerful eyes don't wait for introductions. They sniff out the spark, trying to hide in the dark. And yours slipped out before you even realized it existed. You moved quiet, calm, pretending you were invisible, safe, like a shadow that didn't want attention. But the air betrayed you. Something feral in your chest, sharp and unfiltered, refused to stay buried, and it leaked through your movements, your pulse, your breath. It wasn't confidence. Confidence is tidy, rehearsed, safe. It wasn't ambition either. Ambition has rules, patience, polish. What you let slip was raw, instinctive, a living frequency that screamed louder than you intended. Every second you thought you were blending. Every attempt to stay small only made the signal brighter, hotter, impossible to ignore. The space around you twisted, thickened, stretched in recognition, as if something ancient felt you and arched its spine in approval. It wasn't a moment. It was a leak that couldn't be stopped, energy too restless to stay caged. Your spark screamed in silence, painting you in a language only predators, only world movers, could read. And those eyes, sharp, calculating, already traced it back to you, smiling quietly at the hunt. Intrigued by what they found in the chaos of your presence. You didn't send it intentionally. You barely noticed it yourself. But power doesn't wait for permission. It listens to tremors, sniffs the cracks, follows the hidden pulse in the darkness, and your pulse, it called to them like a flare in the dead of night. You tried to hide, tried to blend, tried to control it, but the wild inside you doesn't obey fences. It clawed through your ribs, spilled through your pores, a storm refusing to be caged. And now, the ones who bend worlds, who see before others even notice, have locked onto you. You didn't choose it. You didn't ask for it. But once power smells a spark like yours, it never blinks, it never hesitates, it hunts. Some people break, you bend, then snap back with teeth. Most people fold under pressure, under heat, under the weight of expectation. But you. You learned early that collapse isn't an option, that surrender tastes like poison, that the world isn't gentle. Every blow, every slight, every hand trying to push you down only carves strength into your bones, sharpened the steel in your spine. It's not visible, no scars, no medals, no applause, but power feels it. Predators sense it. Manipulators hesitate because something in you refuses to fracture. This mark isn't on your skin. It hums beneath it, in your movements, in the way your eyes hold fire when others flinch. It's primal, instinctive, a silent roar that tells the world, I don't break the way you think I do. Every setback you endured became a rehearsal, every insult a test, every betrayal a blueprint for resilience. And the ones who notice, the ones who track potential, sense this vibration immediately, an invisible signature etched into your very being, something they can't touch but can't ignore. You bend, you twist, you take the hits, absorb them, and then snap. Teeth, claws, mind, spine aligned. The weak think this is luck, or charm, or timing. It's none of that. It's your bones remembering what your mind sometimes forgets, that you survive, adapt, rise, and the world, cruel as it is just a testing ground for your inevitability. Those who move worlds feel it, notice it, register it, and somewhere deep inside, they know this is a force that will not be contained. Your resistance isn't loud, it's seismic. It shakes from within. And once they feel it, once they sense it, they don't stop watching. Your silence isn't empty, it's surveillance. Every quiet second you spend observing isn't boredom, it's calculation. It's mapping the world in a way no one else can see. The flicker of an eye, the twitch of a hand, the hesitation in a word, all of it speaks louder than any scream. While others talk, lie, posture, you absorb, decode, predict, folding reality into your mind like origami no one else knows how to make. Silence isn't weakness. Nah, it's the weapon that cuts deeper than fists, sharper than knives, invisible but undeniable. Every gesture, every micro shift, every crack in someone's mask becomes data. Becomes fuel for your strategy, your instinct, your unspoken authority. You don't just notice, you understand before the moment even finishes forming. People think you're passive, calm, maybe even simple. Nah, but inside your mind is a storm, spinning threads, mapping vulnerabilities, reading futures. The world moves clumsily around you and you're the still eye, the quiet predator who knows the game before anyone else is even aware it started. And this mark, it terrifies without a sound. Those who try to manipulate, to deceive, to control, feel it in their skin before they see it in your eyes. The way you catch their intentions, unravel their stories, anticipate their lies, it's a silent terror. You don't need to strike to dominate. Your awareness does it for you. Silence hums from your bones, radiates from your pulse, and whispers, I see you. I know you. I am already ahead. Every room you enter becomes a stage for your quiet supremacy. And the powerful, the dangerous, the ones who move worlds, they feel it, respect it, and sometimes they fear it. Power studies anomalies, and you flinched at nothing. That was the first red flag for them. The moment the world movers paused mid-stride and tilted their heads your way. Normal people twitch, crumble, shrink when the atmosphere gets heavy. Nah, not you. Pressure hit, tension rose. The room thickened with invisible claws, and you didn't even blink. That calm wasn't normal. That stillness wasn't ordinary. It was the kind of quiet that makes dangerous people whisper, wait. What are they hiding? From their viewpoint, you didn't match the script. You didn't scramble to please, didn't rush to defend yourself, didn't break your posture to prove innocence or strength. You just existed with this sharp, unsettling presence, like someone who had already survived worse storms than they could manufacture. Your eyes didn't dart, they anchored. Your breath didn't shake, it settled. Your aura didn't shrink. It expanded in silence. And that silence? It made them study you like a glitch in their perfect little system. Something unclassified, unprogrammable, untamed. To them, you were an anomaly, a question with teeth. People who operate in shadows for a living feel when someone isn't built like the rest, and you radiated a difference that couldn't be faked or rehearsed. It wasn't confidence, it was a scar-deep familiarity with darkness, the kind that makes fear feel small in your hands. They sensed it, the unbothered stance, the sharp perception, the refusal to fold, and in that moment you stopped being someone in the room and became someone to track. World movers don't waste attention, unless they feel power humming in a place it shouldn't be. And in you, they felt it instantly. Once a predator tags you, you're not hidden, you're highlighted. That's the part no one tells you, the part they dress up as fate or destiny to make it sound poetic. This wasn't some chosen one fairy tale, nothing magical, nothing ordained by the universe. This was surveillance, cold, calculated, instinctive. The moment your energy slipped, the moment your presence disrupted the room's predictable rhythm, something primal locked onto you. You didn't rise into their awareness. They dragged you into their scope without asking, without warning, without mercy. You didn't audition for interest. You triggered it. The kind of interest that doesn't clap, doesn't praise, doesn't smile. It studies. It circles. It evaluates the shape of your mind, the pattern of your decisions, the strange quiet you carry like a hidden weapon. World movers don't choose protégés, they identify anomalies, and you, unknowingly, lit up like a signal flare in a city of static souls. Every step you took, every breath you held, every silence you sharpened added another layer to their curiosity. Not admiration, but fascination born from threat assessment. And here's the twisted truth. You didn't consent to any of this. You didn't raise your hand, didn't step forward, didn't seek their gaze. But predators don't wait for permission. They mark what confuses them, what resists definition, what feels like a crack in the pattern they built their power on. Nah, you didn't get chosen. You got flagged, highlighted by instincts older than language. From that moment on, you weren't just another face in the crowd. You were a point of interest, a variable they wanted to decode, a presence they wanted to track. And whether you liked it or not, the lock-on had already begun. Pressure exposes pretenders, but you kept sharpening. That's when the probing began. Quiet and calculated, like fingers tapping the edge of a blade to see if it bites back. They delayed responses just to watch your patience. They went silent to measure your paranoia. They threw small insults like bait, hoping you'd snap. Nah, none of it rattled you. Your calm didn't crumble. It condensed. Every attempt to weaken you only compressed something stronger inside your chest, something they didn't expect to wake up. They tried sudden opportunities, the kind that lure greedy minds into traps, but you saw through them like reflections on broken glass. They dangled shortcuts to test your discipline, but your focus didn't shift even a breath. Psychological traps meant to corner you turned into puzzles you solved without blinking. While they were trying to study your reactions, you were dissecting their intentions. Quietly, efficiently, almost cruelly. Your silence became sharper than their questions, your stillness louder than their tricks. The more they pushed, the more you clarified. Nah, regular people break under pressure. You became clearer, harder, cleaner in your decisions. Every shove only polished the steel in your voice. Every insult only thickened the gravity around your presence. You didn't fall for their thresholds. You walked past them like they were chalk lines on a battlefield you'd already memorized. They thought pressure would expose your weakness, but all it revealed was your ascent, rising slow, rising steady, rising in a way that made them wonder if they were testing you, or waking something they shouldn't have touched. The moment you stop hiding your darkness, the room adjusts. Nah, it doesn't just adjust. It recalibrates, like every pair of eyes suddenly realizes they miscalculated you. The quiet parts of you, the parts you used to tuck away behind polite smiles and soft nods, start stepping forward with a confidence that demands space. That shadow you kept strangled isn't a monster. It's the part of you that always carried the truth, the instinct, the precision. And once you let it breathe, once you stop apologizing for the sharpness in your spirit, the whole atmosphere shifts. People stop seeing you as safe. They start seeing you as someone they can't predict, someone they shouldn't underestimate. Your darkness doesn't scream. It doesn't need to. Nah, it radiates from the way you hold your jaw steady, from the stillness in your eyes, from the way you watch the world without blinking. You're not chaotic in a reckless way. You're chaotic in a controlled, intelligent, unnerving way. That's the difference. You don't lash out, you calculate. You don't implode, you transform. And the people around you feel it. That simmering electricity, that silent warning that you've stopped dimming yourself for their comfort. What they thought was your weakness was actually your restraint. And the moment you released it, your presence doubled. Every room reacts in its own way. Some people shrink, some stare, some get nervous without knowing why. And those world movers, the ones with real power, the ones who study energy like it's currency, they feel something else entirely. They feel respect, they feel recognition, they feel a maturity that only comes from walking through your own shadows and coming out sharper, not softer. Nah, they don't see danger in you. They see a mind that has stopped lying to itself, a spirit that refuses to kneel, a fire that no longer flinches. That shadow you stopped apologizing for isn't a flaw, it's your signature. It's the part of you that knows what you want, knows what you won't tolerate, knows what you refuse to lose again. It carries your boundaries, your bite, your silence, your instincts. And when you let it stand beside you instead of behind you, the powerful don't retreat, they lean in. They recognize someone who has crossed the internal line between pretending and becoming. They see someone who's done being underestimated, someone finally aligned with the force they were always meant to wield. When your eyes change, people feel naked. They feel exposed in a way that rattles something ancient in their spine, like you're seeing the version of them they try to bury under charm, noise, and practiced expressions. Your clarity doesn't arrive with fireworks, it arrives with stillness. A new kind of silence inside your mind where everything becomes obvious. You start noticing the micro-twitch before someone lies, the way their pupils react when they're threatened, the way their shoulders drop when they're hiding guilt. You're not becoming powerful, you're becoming unreadable, a moving riddle, a walking cipher. People can't place you, can't predict you, can't manipulate you, and that unsettles them more than any aggression ever could. The shift happens subtly. You stop reacting. You start observing. You stop explaining yourself to people who never wanted to understand you, and that lack of reaction becomes its own kind of dominance. You look at someone and they feel their excuses crumbling before they even speak. You ask a simple question and it hits like an interrogation because your eyes don't blink the way they used to. You feel motives like temperature changes. You sense tension like vibrations in the floor. You read people faster than they can prepare their masks. The chaos in others becomes clear lines to you now, predictable, almost boring. Conversations change. People who used to talk freely start fumbling. Those who once tried to impress you suddenly look small in their own stories. They tug at their sleeves, fix their posture, avoid your gaze because something in your silence tells them you already know the part they're trying to hide. You've become a spotlight they never asked for, one that sees through ego, fear, jealousy, insecurity, and hunger in an instant. And the real shift, the part they don't talk about, is the hush that spreads when you walk into a room. Fear shifts silently, not because you're loud, but because you're precise. Not because you're dangerous, but because you're awake. Power is a magnet, and not everything it pulls is treasure. The moment your energy sharpens, the moment your clarity cuts through the noise, that's when the shadows start drifting toward you. Quiet feet, hungry eyes, soft voices hiding hard intentions. Rising doesn't just elevate you. It exposes you. Saboteurs appear wrapped in compliments. Envious hearts disguise themselves as advisors, and the ones who never cared suddenly orbit your fire like moths pretending they're stars. You start realizing the higher you climb, the more people try to grab your ankles, not to join you, but to weigh you down. That's the price of becoming visible in a world that fears anything it can't control. Fake loyalty becomes a currency. They smile wider, agree faster, show up louder, but the moment you turn away, their masks slip like wet paint. You'll feel the difference now. You'll sense the hollowness behind their praises, the calculations behind their laughter, the jealousy stitched into their concern. And those shadow chasers, the ones who don't want you, just your flame, they show up too. Always wanting access, wanting secrets, wanting the blueprint to your strength without bleeding for it. They study you, mimic you, attach themselves to your aura, hoping it sparks something in them. But all it does is drain you if you're not careful. That's why emotional coldness becomes survival, not cruelty. You don't detach because you're heartless. You detach because you finally understand the psychology of ascent. You learn to give silence instead of explanations, distance instead of second chances, observation instead of trust. You learn that solitude isn't punishment. It's a shield, a strategy, a filter that reveals who can stand beside you without poisoning the climb. Power teaches you the kind of lessons comfort never will. Not everyone deserves proximity. Not everyone deserves your softness. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table simply because they smiled at you. As you rise, the room gets darker. Not because you're falling into shadow, but because you're becoming the light that exposes every deception around you. Some people get lucky. Nah, you got profiled. The world mover didn't discover you by accident. They paused because something in you mirrored something buried in them, something sharp, something restless, something that refuses to bow. They saw the pattern in your silence, the calculation in your patience, the hunger behind your restraint, and recognized a trait they've learned to watch for. You weren't noticed, you were identified, logged, marked as someone who doesn't move like the crowd, doesn't break like the weak, doesn't fear the unknown. This wasn't fate smiling at you, this was power acknowledging its reflection. They didn't pick you because you're lucky. Nah, luck is for people waiting. You were cataloged because your energy doesn't wander, it aims. You think in lines most people never see, you move with intentions most can't decode. You carry a quiet violence in your spirit that whispers you were never meant to stay small. They recognized alignment, not destiny. Pattern, not chance. Every choice you made, every silence you kept, every instinct you trusted painted a signature only the elite, the dangerous, the world movers know how to read. And once they read it, the game shifted without your permission. This is the part no one tells you. You were already in the system before you realized there was a system. Nah, you weren't rising alone. You were being observed, evaluated, measured against standards most people don't even know exist. They watched how you handled pressure, how you reacted to disrespect, how you carried pain without leaking desperation. They watched how you didn't beg for acceptance, how you didn't chase validation, how you stayed unbothered in storms meant to expose your weakness. And every time you chose silence over chaos, control over impulse, presence over panic, they checked another box. And now you're stepping into a larger game, one you never signed up for, but one you were always built for. The world you thought you knew, it's smaller than the one watching you now. The challenges you thought were random, they were signals. The people drawn to you, patterns. The pressure you felt, a doorway. Nah, you weren't being punished. You were being profiled for a higher tier of existence, one reserved for minds that can't be deceived and spirits that refuse to kneel. You're not entering the game, you're being welcomed to the level where the real players operate. Ever feel like you're stuck in a loop of swallowing your pride? Every time they throw that jab, you bite your tongue. Every time they disrespect you, you nod and move on. But inside, it's like a slow burn, right? The kind that gets deeper with each, "I'm fine," you say. Yeah, you've been there. You try to be the bigger person. You try to rise above. But what they don't tell you is that being the bigger person is exhausting. It's like carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders while everyone else gets to throw their punches with no consequences. And you just take it. You hold it in and act like it doesn't cut you. But here's the truth. It does hurt. Each word, each action is like a cut that never heals. You try to stay strong. You try to keep your peace. But what happens when all that strength becomes a prison? When you keep taking the high road and they keep walking all over you, the resentment builds up and it starts to poison you. They get to walk away unscathed. You get to carry the weight of their disrespect, and you know what? It's not fair. It's not fair to keep swallowing their poison without ever getting the chance to make them taste their own. So what happens when you finally say enough is enough, when you stop holding back and start letting them feel the impact of their actions? You are not weak for feeling anger. You're not wrong for wanting respect. And you don't always have to walk away quietly. Sometimes, letting them feel the weight of their own mess is the best thing you can do for yourself. So, stop holding it all in. Let them hear you. Let them feel it. This time it's their turn to carry the burden. Ever had your kindness twisted? You reach out, you offer understanding. You're patient. You try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but somehow they mistake that for weakness. They start to take your patience as permission to walk all over you, permission to disrespect you, knowing you'll just turn the other cheek. Nah, it doesn't work that way. Here's the thing, kindness is not a free pass to treat you like a doormat. But people who never learn to respect others see your goodness as an opportunity to push boundaries. It's not about you being weak, it's about them taking advantage of your decency, because no one's ever held them accountable, and you, the one who's trying to be the bigger person, end up stuck in a cycle where the line gets crossed over and over again. Why? Because you didn't enforce the boundaries you set. The reality hits hard. People only respect limits when you enforce them. They need to know where you stand. They need to understand that their actions will have consequences. But the problem is, you've let them think they can get away with anything. You've been so kind, so patient, so willing to forgive, that they stopped seeing you as someone who deserves respect and started seeing you as someone who will never stand up for themselves. And when that happens, that's when the damage is done. But what happens when you finally realize that moment, the one where it hits you like a ton of bricks? They're not sorry. They never were. They don't feel bad. They just know that you'll forgive them. They count on it. They push and you pull back and the cycle continues. You've become predictable. You've become the person who will always let them slide, but guess what? It's time to break that cycle. Being kind doesn't mean being a punching bag. And you don't have to apologize for setting boundaries. You don't have to feel guilty for wanting respect. The next time someone crosses the line, don't just let it go. Let them feel the weight of their actions. Let them realize that kindness isn't an open invitation to disrespect. You deserve better. Ah, so you think walking away makes you the bigger person. Yeah, it feels good in the moment. You hold your head high. You walk away like you're above it. But deep down, there's a nagging feeling. You didn't win. You just let them think they got away with it. Here's the thing. Walking away doesn't always mean you're above it. It doesn't make you the bigger person. It makes you silent. It makes you passive. And silence? Yeah, silence doesn't always teach them a damn thing. It doesn't make them feel guilty. It doesn't make them realize their mistake. It just gives them the opportunity to walk away without ever understanding the damage they caused. You think you're showing restraint. You think your self-restraint is a victory. Nah, it's not. Not when the person on the other end doesn't even know they've done wrong. Self-restraint is powerful, but sometimes you need to stand your ground and make them see, make them feel the weight of their actions. Otherwise, it's just another free pass. They say silence is golden. Nah, silence is a trap. It's a trap you set for yourself. You think you've won by walking away, but in reality, you've just made it easier for them to disrespect you again. You didn't teach them anything. You didn't correct their behavior. You let them off the hook, hoping they'll get it on their own. But guess what? They won't. The truth? Silence teaches them nothing. They don't sit there reflecting on what they did wrong. They don't lose sleep over the way they made you feel. They go right back to their bad habits because you never made them face the consequences of their actions. And next time, they'll do it again. And the cycle continues. You have to break the cycle If they don't feel the sting of their behavior, they'll never change. Walking away might feel good for a moment, but the real power, the real victory comes when you make them feel what they've done. Make them see the impact of their disrespect. Make them realize they can't treat you like that anymore. That's how you win. You've been taught to forgive and forget. You've been told that holding grudges only harms you. But listen closely. There's a fine line between holding someone accountable and seeking revenge. Holding them accountable isn't about getting back at them. Nah, it's about teaching them. It's about making them realize actions have consequences. Here's the reality. When you don't hold people accountable, you're giving them permission to walk all over you. They think they can get away with it, and they do. And you're left with all that unspoken frustration building up inside you. But the moment you let them feel the weight of their actions, oh, they won't forget it. Accountability isn't about being petty. It's not about trying to get one over on them. It's about self-respect. It's about saying, no, you don't get to treat me this way anymore. Holding someone accountable is the rare skill of delivering a reality check that hits deep. You don't need to scream or shout. You don't need to start a war. All you need to do is show them that you won't stand for it. This isn't about punishing them. It's about setting a clear boundary. It's about saying, I will not be your punching bag. I will not be your outlet for frustration. The beauty, they'll remember you for it. They'll know that you're not someone to walk over. You're not a doormat to be wiped on the floor. You're a force. And forces don't bow to anyone. You're not asking for their apology. You're not begging them to change. You're simply making sure they understand the consequences of crossing you. And once they understand that, the tables turn. They're the ones who feel uncomfortable. They're the ones who start second-guessing their behavior. And that's power, my friend. That's the power of standing up for yourself, of holding people accountable, of making them respect you. So don't be afraid to let them feel it. Let them remember who they crossed. Let them know you're not someone to be trifled with. When they realize that, oh, trust me, they won't mess with you again. And the next time they think about crossing a line, they'll think twice, because they'll know the consequences will be real. There comes a time when being the bigger person just doesn't cut it anymore. Now, some people don't respect kindness. They don't understand patience. They only understand one thing: impact. And sometimes the best way to teach them that lesson is by giving them exactly what they gave you. Mirror their energy. Let them taste their own medicine. You've tried walking away. You've tried staying calm. But what if they're just not getting it? What if your silence is feeding their ego, letting them think that they can do whatever they want without consequences? Yeah, sometimes they need a wake-up call. They need to feel what it's like to be disrespected. They need to see how it feels when someone mirrors their attitude right back at them. Don't make the mistake of thinking this is petty. This isn't about sinking to their level. It's about setting a precedent. You can't expect someone to learn the hard lesson until they feel the sting themselves. If they disrespected you, it's time to show them how that feels. Let them experience firsthand what it's like when someone who knows their worth refuses to take their crap. And let's be real, some people only understand impact. They don't understand being polite or walking away. They don't understand how your patience isn't a weakness. Nah. They need to feel it. They need to experience the discomfort of their own actions. When you mirror their disrespect, they'll realize that you're not someone to be played with, and guess what? They'll think twice before trying it again. Setting this precedent isn't about revenge. It's about ensuring that they understand the cost of their behavior. When they try to cross the line again, they'll remember the energy you gave them. And that reminder, that's gonna stick. They'll hesitate next time. They'll think twice before pushing your buttons, because they'll know exactly what happens when they do. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to justify your actions. You just have to match their energy. Let them taste their own medicine and watch them learn. Silence. It's sharper than any insult, colder than any revenge, more powerful than any argument. Some people expect a fight. They expect you to explain, to react, to beg. Nah. The real power move? Disappearing. Let them feel the weight of your absence. Let them sit with the fact that you're done playing nice. See, when you stop giving them your energy, something shifts. They start to notice. They feel that eerie silence where your attention used to be, and it eats at them, because now they're left wondering, did I go too far? Did I push the wrong one? Oh, now they care? Now they're paying attention? Too bad. You're already gone. Walking away isn't weakness, it's strategy. Because the thing that hurts them the most isn't your anger, it's your indifference. When you stop arguing, stop explaining, stop proving your point, they realize you never needed their validation in the first place. That's when it hits them. You were the prize and they lost you. You don't have to announce your departure, just vanish. No grand exit, no last words, no warning, just silence, and in that silence, they'll hear every unspoken truth. They'll feel the space you used to fill, and that space, it'll haunt them. It'll remind them that you were someone rare, someone real, and they threw that away. And the best part, your success becomes the loudest message. Keep moving, keep growing. Let them watch from the sidelines while you rise, because nothing is more satisfying than knowing they sit there, watching, regretting, realizing they should have treated you better. But now, it's too late. You win by not needing to win, by letting them sit in the silence they created, by making them understand that losing you was their own doing. And that lesson, it'll stick. It'll echo in their minds louder than anything you could have said. Because the scariest sound in the world is the absence of someone who used to care. Ah, karma. The one force in the universe that never forgets a debt. Some people think they can lie, betray, disrespect, and walk away untouched. Nah, life has a funny way of circling back. And when it does, oh, it's beautiful. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to plot, plan, or seek revenge. Just wait. Life will handle it. The same pain they threw at you, one day, they'll feel it. And when it hits, they'll remember. They'll think back to everything they did to you, and suddenly, it won't be so funny anymore. The best part? You'll be too busy thriving to care, too focused on your own success, your own growth, your own peace. While they sit there, dealing with the consequences they swore would never come, and when they look around for help, for sympathy, for understanding, no one's there. Just like how they left you. Karma doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's subtle, slow, surgical. They lose the things they took for granted. They get betrayed by the ones they trusted most. They feel the sting of being discarded, overlooked, underestimated, just like they did to you. That's the real justice. They finally understand what it's like to be on the other side. And you just keep going. No need to watch too closely. No need to celebrate their downfall. That's not your job. Your job is to live so well to shine so bright that their regret eats them alive. Because deep down, they'll know they lost someone irreplaceable. So sit back, let time do its thing, let the universe serve the lesson, and when karma finally knocks on their door, you won't need revenge. Their regret will be punishment enough, because the sweetest payback is knowing you didn't have to do a damn thing. There comes a moment, that final, undeniable, unshakable moment, the one where you realize you've given enough chances. You've explained yourself too many times. You've let things slide that should have been stopped cold. And now, it's time to go. But you're not leaving empty-handed. Nah. You're leaving with wisdom, strength, and a heart that's finally done bleeding for people who never deserved it. You're not walking away as the victim. You're walking away as the one who woke up. The one who finally let go of the illusion that they'd ever change. And trust me, they'll feel it. Oh, they will feel it. The shift in energy, the silence where your patience used to be, the absence of your kindness, your understanding, your loyalty. They thought they could do whatever they wanted and you'd always be there, but now they have to face what life looks like without you in it. See, people don't always appreciate what they have when it's right in front of them. They take it for granted. They assume you'll always be around, always forgiving, always tolerating. Until you're not. Until the day comes when you stop explaining, stop fighting, stop hoping, and you just walk. No final speech, no dramatic goodbye, just a quiet, unshakable decision that says, enough. And when they realize what they've lost, that's when the regret sets in. That's when the weight of their actions finally crashes down. But here's the thing. That's no longer your burden to carry. You're not leaving with regret. You're not leaving with anger. You're leaving with peace, with clarity, with the undeniable knowledge that you gave them every chance to do better, and they wasted it. So go, not with bitterness, but with power, not with guilt, but with freedom, because the greatest lesson they'll ever learn is what it feels like to lose someone who actually cares.